Well, hello there, folks, and a very warm welcome back to What's for Tea. It's lovely to see you all again as usual. And today I made this amazing cheesy mashed potato pie, and there's a layer of baked beans in here as well. You could add other things to this. This works lovely with a layer of corned beef through the middle, or you could add bacon or chives, almost, anything really. But I'm going to show you my wee version because it's very simple. And David, yes, we do have the new chopping board. So what do we think of this one? It's just to go with the new logo. So the first thing we're going to do is get our potatoes peeled, washed and then chopped. I am using red rooster potatoes because they're just a nice all-round potato, but you can use whatever potatoes you prefer. So I've got about 2 pounds of potatoes here, and this recipe will do between 2 and 4 people. 4 people as a side, or maybe 2 people if you're having it as a main meal. So you want to make sure your potatoes are peeled, and like I said, we're just going to chop these into chunks and then we're going to get them boiled. So yeah, just rough chunks. It doesn't really matter if you try and get them around about the same size, just so that they boil and cook at roughly the same time, so that some aren't mushing up and some aren't hard. So if you try and cut them around about the same kind of size, something like this is ideal. Not too big, not too small. And then what we want to do is give them a good wash just to get rid of the excess starch. Get them into a large pan, cover them with cold water, just enough to cover them, or they will take about a month to boil. So just enough cold water to cover your potatoes. So get your lid on and bring these up to the boil. I am going to add a few cloves of garlic just to flavour the water and give the potatoes another wee layer of flavour, but this is completely optional. So get your lid on and get these up to the boil. So you want to simmer these until they're tender. So I'm going to add a wee dash of salt, so some nice salty water, and you just want to let these simmer away on a low to medium heat for about 20 minutes until they are nice and tender. These are the additional ingredients I'll be using. So I've got some baked beans, some grated cheese, some parsley, panko breadcrumbs, butter, some parmesan and a wee splash of milk as well. So once your tatties are ready, I'm going to lift out most of the garlic. I'm going to leave 1 or 2 cloves in there and mash that into the potatoes. Again, it's just to give them a wee bit of extra flavour. So drain the water out and return them back to your pan. Keep a wee bit of heat under your pan. Keep the pan on a low heat, and that's going to help make your potato nice and smooth and lump free. I'm going to add the splash of milk and a wee knob of butter as well. Again, this is completely optional. I like to add these because, it gives them a wee bit of extra creaminess and flavour, and it does help make them nice and smooth. A wee pinch of salt and pepper as well, and you want to give these a good old mash until they are nice and smooth. You might have to stop and start a couple of times because this is quite hard work on your wrists, but just keep going until you're happy with the texture. I'm going to add about half a tablespoon of this dried parsley. You can use fresh if you prefer. I didn't have any, but this works just as well in something like this. Give it another wee light mash just to make sure it's even throughout your potato, and then a wee stir just to make sure nothing is lurking in the bottom of the pan and it's lovely and smooth. The last thing I'm going to do is add in my parmesan cheese. Again, whatever cheese you like. I find parmesan at this stage just works really well. It doesn't go too stringy or gooey because it's quite a dry cheese. It just works really well in this. So give that a wee stir through as well, and then you are ready to go. And it's just a matter of layering everything up now in your oven dish, and just look how smooth and creamy that potato has got. Yeah, so I was really happy with this. So the next thing you have to do is grab yourself an oven proof dish. So I'm going to use this one here. Like I said, this is good for 4 as a side dish, or 2 adults, if you're having it as a main meal. So you want to start off with half of your potato and an even layer in the bottom of your dish. And I'm going to add some baked beans. You don't need to heat these up because this is going into the oven, but like I said, you can add a layer of corned beef, that goes lovely in this. But I'm going to use the baked beans because baked beans and mashed potato are just a match made in heaven. I'm going to add a good handful of grated cheddar on top of this. You can add more or less, it's entirely up to you. So the grated cheddar goes on top of the beans, and when it melts, it's all going to go gooey and wonderful. And then you want to use the rest of your potato on the top and a nice even layer again. So half your potato in the bottom, half of your potato on the top. Just make sure it's nicely spaced out, and it will go on there quite easily. Just make sure it's well pushed down into your cheese and your beans. And you want to make this a wee bit rough on the top with the back of your spoon, so that when it bakes in the oven, you know, it catches and it goes nice and crispy and sort of crispy on top. I don't know how else to say it. You know, if you make wee peaks and troughs on the top, just go nice and slowly and it will be very, very easy. So the last thing I'm going to do is add the rest of my grated cheddar cheese, and I'm also going to add some panko breadcrumbs as well. Just a wee drop, just for a wee bit of crunch on the top, and it's a nice wee texture change. But again, this is completely optional and up to you. So you want to put this into the centre of your oven for between 20 and 25 minutes. The temperature is on the screen there for you, and you will have something that looks like this just at the end. And doesn't it look brilliant? But you will want to let this cool down for about 5 minutes, or even you can make this in the morning and then heat it back up at night, and it will hold its shape much better, because obviously if you serve it straight away, you know, the potato is going to be very, very soft. The baked beans and the cheese in the middle are also going to be very loose and very soft. So I would recommend letting this sit for a wee while, and you're going to get a nicer portion just like this. And we had some pork link sausages from the butcher and some extra baked beans on the side, of course, because it goes wonderful with this kind of thing. So yeah, do let me know what you thought of that one. Super simple, but absolutely delicious. And this is what it looks like inside. But you can add, as I said, all sorts of things into the middle of this to suit yourself. So thank you so much for watching as usual. And a huge thank you to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, and to the channel members here on YouTube as well, for you all for watching, leaving your lovely comments, and for those that share the videos as well. It's all very much appreciated. And I will catch up with you during the week, next Thursday for another wee recipe, back on Saturday for our food shop unbagging, or back on Sunday for our family meals of the week. But whenever you choose to join me again, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll catch you off as soon back here on What's for Tea. Bye now.